Okay, so hey guys, and welcome back to another predictions video. And in today's video I'm going to be predicting the Holloway versus Young slash the Korean Zombie fight. If you're on around here though and you haven't subscribed, please do so. Like the video if you do need like the video, and let's get straight into it. So I'm just going to be calling him Young for this fight. Of course it is the Korean Zombie, as he is more known as. But Holloway going into this fight is 24-7 with 10 KOs and 2 submissions, and Young is 17-7 with 6 KOs and 8 submissions. This fight is a 5-round fight in the featherweight division. Holloway's last fight was a win via unanimous decision versus Allen, and Young's last fight was a loss via KO in round 4 versus Volkanovski, that being over a year ago now. Young is 36 and Holloway is 31. Holloway's UFC losses are coming against Poirier in 2012, Bermudez in 2013, McGregor in 2013, Poirier in 2019, and Volkanovski in 2019, 2020, and 2022. Young's UFC losses are coming against Aldo in 2013, Rodriguez in 2018, Ortega in 2020, and Volkanovski in 2022. From what I've just said there, I mean, Holloway coming off an impressive victory versus Allen, it was one which was necessary. I feel like there was possible doubters coming off their loss versus Volkanovski, and he seemed to silence them there. He showed that he was still kind of the best of the rest, I suppose, in the featherweight division, and I felt for his confidence it was a fight which he definitely needed to win, and shows, like I said, he's still the best of the rest. And Young's last fight, I mean, it was a dominant defeat really. Volkanovski teared him to pieces with his powerful striking, and the fact that he's had over a year out since then, I don't think he's going to be possibly coming into this fight with much confidence. You never know, maybe he's gone away and reset and managed to come back in a better frame of mind, so you never really know. But it's going to be interesting to see how, as well as the age of Young, is that going to play any more of a factor? We've seen him get hurt in fights now, and is that just going to show for maybe more and more wear, and is this possibly, arguably, maybe going to be his last fight? You never know, but I don't know. And Holloway, I mean, seems like he's been around the UFC for ages now, and I mean, he has really, but he started young, and I mean, he's only 31 now, so arguably he's in some of his peak years, and so you never know if he's still going to be beating everybody, then he's going to force himself to another title shot, whether that being in the featherweight division or possibly in the lightweight division or something. I'm not entirely sure, but I mean, Holloway's only ever lost to some of the best in, I mean, the lightweight division and the featherweight division, so it's understandable. And it seems like Young's lost against the top contenders and only ever really lost against the top contenders, and that's why he's never really fully made it to the top. And yeah, this is possibly on paper going to be a rough night for Young, but of course you can never write out anybody in the UFC, especially these higher ranked fighters as well. But let's speak about the fighters. So Holloway, of course, he's an amazing boxer. He's beaten all the top contenders, like I said. He's got high output, he's agile, rangy, got good head movement, fast, got a good chin, builds throughout the fight, and very accurate. And it's nice to see this high output, this high accuracy, and this boxing ability. Of course, he calls himself the best boxer in the UFC, and when you've seen some of his fights, even just from his last fight alone, it was a good boxing display, and one which, I mean, arguably wouldn't have gone too much out of a place in a boxing fight. I mean, the guard and stuff like that is a bit of a problem, but he's got his own good chin as well, and he's got that good head movement. He's difficult for anybody to really kind of get a hold of him, and that's what makes him impressive. And the fact that he can just be rangy and then slip and be elusive in the process is difficult to counter against. And negatives, maybe overlooking this fight, just looking on paper wise, possibly he can be frustrated and can be dragged into the opponent's fights. That's kind of what happened in the Volkanovski fight, especially in that last one. But Volkanovski realistically was fighting at another level on that one, and it was very, very difficult to be able to have beaten him on that night. He's shown that possibly on the back foot he's not always amazing when he's under complete amounts of pressure. That's just never ending, but he is also capable of countering on the back foot as well. So it's on, you don't really know if you want him on the front foot or the back foot realistically. He's not got crazy power, but I feel like his output, his accuracy, his timing is something which is what can hurt opponents. He's got a bit of a weak guard, so if you can catch him, and sometimes you can when he does come in, then there is opportunities to land big, and Allen did do that. He's not got that capable ground game. He's a bit conventional at times with his striking, and sometimes can be too tough for his own good, and that's something which isn't really going to be the best in the long run, and never really going to be the best in the way of kind of fighter health, I suppose. But it also arguably goes to the fact he has a good chin as well. But either way, an entertaining fighter, always going to give a great fight, and possibly is looking a little bit more weird now. I mean, the Allen fight was a very good fight for him, and it was just in that later bits of the fight he wasn't looking possibly as good as what he sometimes does. But you never know, it's possibly was just, like I said, getting back into it again after defeats. Jeong, though, as a fighter, he's a fellow striker in his own right, and he likes to be on the front foot. He's patient, got a very good takedown defense. He's composed. He'll walk you down. He knows how to win a round. When I say that, I mean I know he knows how to lose a round convincingly, and then just not let fighters realistically build on that momentum, and is quite good at just shutting down that momentum and just being able to bring it back to basics and doing what he has to do to then win a round when he was looking on the back foot in general. And that's something which is very difficult to be able to do, and it's good that he can do that, because there has been times where he has won lost quite big rounds, and then bang, you see half the next round gone, and he's won that next half a round quite convincingly. And like I said, it's impressive. But he's going to stand in front of Holloway most likely, probably going to accept the centre of the ring, take the centre of the ring, and probably will put Holloway on the back foot. So like I said, it'll be interesting to see how he deals with it. Jeong struggled against top contenders, like I said. He's been exposed on the feet, he's been hurt, he's got a weak guard, he's got poor movement, he walks onto shots, he's reckless, bit predictable, bit wild, lacks head movement, and I feel like Holloway, with his accuracy, could definitely find success on that aspect. And the fact that, especially against, who was Ortega, definitely did struggle against the fact he was coming in a bit wild and reckless. And hopefully, like I said, hopefully he's gone away and learnt from any of them things and every bit of that, and come back, and he's going to be a stronger, better version of what we've ever seen. But that's for him to prove and for us to see. But for the moment, Holloway, of course, is the favourite, and I think that Holloway will win via unanimous decision. Unanimous decision, possible late stoppage, you never know, but I'm going to go over unanimous decision for the moment. Where does he then go on to next? Tough at the moment, realistically, to give him fights, because it seems like Volkanovski is going to fight Tapera, so I put both of them as opponents, but you can't really say at the moment because they probably will end up fighting each other. So possibly he moves up in division. I wouldn't hate it. He's arguably been one of the best featherweights of all time, and I wouldn't hate if he goes up into back into the lightweight division and possibly fights Gaethje for the BMF title. That would be an entertaining fight. I mean, they're both BMF title worthy, and that could be a great fight if Holloway can move up into the weight well and fight well. Then you never know. But there's not loads of options in the featherweight division unless he wants to just start fighting fighters he's already won against. But I don't think he realistically wants to do that at this point in his career. But yeah, that is it for today's video. Hope you enjoy. Like this if you did, like this, subscribe if you're new, and thanks for watching.